I want to tell you a little bit of a story, a little bit of a background of how this conversation happened for me. So if you roll back about 16 years, yes, 16 years ago, I was sitting in my doctor's office, and I'd been going back and forth to the doctor, not feeling very well. And I would ask him to take my blood work. And every time he would run my blood work, he'd say to me, "There's nothing wrong with you, Suzanne." So this particular day, I'm sitting in his office. I am absolutely frustrated. He does all his checkup and all these things, and he says, "Suzanne, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you." And I start to cry uncontrollably. And I start to cry uncontrollably because I'm so frustrated, because I'm telling him I'm tired. I can't focus. I have no energy. My emotions are high and low. And my doctor looks at me and he says, "Honey, you're healthy, but you are not well." And I looked at him and I said, "I have no idea what you're talking about." And I'm saying this through tears. "I have no idea what you're talking about." And he says, "Well, what I mean is that medically you're healthy. There's nothing wrong with you. But the lifestyle that you're living, the amount of stress that you are under, you are not well." And for me, I didn't actually understand that there was a difference between my health and this thing called my wellness. And what my doctor was saying to me was how I was doing life, the level of stress that I was experiencing was impacting my well-being to such a state that I couldn't function. I was emotionally on a high and low, and things were not going well. So if this is you and you totally understand what I'm talking about, write something in the comment section so I know that I am not alone. So as I sit there and I start to cry, my doctor tells me that if I don't begin to change my lifestyle, his concern is that I won't survive. Now, I don't actually know what he means by survive, but I get that he's serious and something needs to change. So that day I go home and I decide to make some decisions. Now, a few months later, I quit my job. I end up getting divorced. I leave the city I'm living to, and I move to a quieter place. Now, that's kind of drastic, but that's what I could do. So what I began to do was I began to make a shift. And in my shift, what was really interesting was I first had to ask myself, what did my doctor mean with, how can I be healthy and not well? And there began the conversation that was actually the beginning of Fit, Fab, and Fulfilled. And I love it. Linda is saying, "Suzanne, you are not alone." Brenda Sachs is saying, "You are not alone. Only I'm overweight." Well, Brenda, it all shows up in so many different ways. For me, it showed up in weight loss. I was 10 pounds underweight. I looked tired. I looked older than I was. It was not pretty. For some people, it shows up in overweight. For some people, when it gets too far, it shows up in health issues, right? For some people, it might show up in stress and different ways. I've seen people lose their hair and all sorts of different things. And so what I'm really talking about is really how we take care of ourselves. So as I go on this journey and I begin this journey into getting fit, feeling fantastic, and living a deeply fulfilled life, one of the things I began to create was this distinction. So I want to talk to you about the difference between your health, your fitness, and your wellness. Okay, your health, your fitness, and your wellness. Because as I sat in my doctor's office 16 years ago, I was like, how can I be healthy but not well? It didn't compute. But as I began to look at things, I realized that there are three very distinct things, and media has us focused on the aesthetics of it. Means what we would kind of see on the outside, which doesn't actually fit into any category. It's not your health, it's not your fitness, it's not your wellness, which is kind of crazy. So the weight loss industry is built on something so superficial, so quick fix, so strategically empty that it doesn't give you any long-term gains that will benefit your life. So what I want to talk about is the three distinctions and why we as entrepreneurial men and women are required to pour into ourselves in every single one of those areas. So I want to start with health. And health for me is your internal being, right? It is your heart rate. It is your blood pressure. It is your sugar levels. It is all the things that you kind of go to the doctor and they measure. right? So your doctor wants to know that your internal health is where it needs to be, but your internal health creates your external health, right? So our health is taken care of by what kind of food we put in our body. And I like to say you can either have a burger body or you can have a body built from organic whole foods. Now consider that every cell in our body is replaced every 7 years. We have a new body about every 7 years. What that means is what you nourish your body with today will actually create a total change. So when we're talking health, we're talking, what we're putting in our bodies, what we're eating, how much water we're drinking. How are you hydrating your body, right? And they say we should drink half our body weight in ounces of water every single day. That's training, right? It is how much you sleep, right? Are you actually getting sleep? And they say that you should have 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night. So once I began to understand the difference between the two, so Tria, we're getting an echo right now, so we're getting some feedback, just to let you know, hon. So once I began to understand this, I made a commitment to eating whole organic food, hydrating my body properly, getting the sleep necessary, and actually committing to sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day, right? So I am going to just check. So are you guys hearing me okay? Is there background noise? Yes, Colette, you're saying you're learning how much stress affects your health. Absolutely, and we're going to really dive into that in a moment. So the other thing so that was health. I really began to take my health on. Yeah, that's a lot of water. I know, right? Depending on how much you weigh, it really is around half your body weight. So for me, it is really starting drinking my water from the moment I wake up and trying to end about 2 hours before I go to bed. And it's little bits of sip throughout the day. Tria, are you able to hear me, hon? No, we're not getting you. We got still a delay. So that's the first thing. So the first piece in this toolkit, when we're talking about lifestyle and we're talking about true transformation, is really how is your health? What are you doing for your health? Are you nourishing your body adequately? Are you getting your trace minerals, your vitamins, all the three areas, your proteins, your carbohydrates, your essential fats? Are you drinking your water? Are you resting? Are you sleeping and getting that deep REM sleep? So that's your health. The second area I began to look at was my fitness. Now, what my fitness is my ability to work out, right? And fitness is really our strengthening our muscles. So your conditioning, your strength training. It is our flexibility. So it's how flexible you are. It is our ability to maintain balance. It is our cardiovascular or our endurance. And it is our core strength. So fitness kind of goes in 5 different areas. Now, what most people do is they go and they get on the treadmill and they do this one thing. They run for a length of time and they try to lose pounds and inches. Now, this is the interesting thing, is that's one area of your fitness. Now, this is even the crazier thing. If you don't have a lot of muscle mass, and you're spending time on the treadmill, you don't actually have the muscle mass to burn the calories that you're actually trying to burn off. So the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolism, the more calories and fat that you'll actually burn. So it's not as simple as getting on the treadmill. It is, in order to lose weight, you've got to build lean muscle. In order to gain weight and keep your body fat low, you've got to maintain that lean muscle mass. So it is the same thing. Now, what the diet industry will have you believe, that what someone needs to do who wants to lose weight and what someone needs to do who wants to gain weight is drastically different. No, it's not. It is a matter of doing the right thing. So you've got to do the cardio, you've got to do the strength training, you've got to do the stretching, you've got to do the core work, you've got to do all the pieces, you've got to increase your balance. Now, one of the things, we are going to be having a challenge. So if you want to participate in the challenge, you definitely want to put FIT5, FIT, and the number 5 in the comment section. I have a personal trainer by the name of Joel, and he's going to be doing a fit test for us. And we're going to test your balance. So there's going to be a quick test that you're going to be able to do, and you're going to test your balance. Then we're going to have a test that you're going to be able to do that's going to test your endurance. Then we're going to have one that's going to test your strength, and we're going to have one that's going to test your flexibility, and then we're going to test your core strength. And then we're going to invite you to go on an accountability journey with me for 30 days, totally complimentary. And then you're going to have an opportunity to do the test again. And we're going to look at health and fitness and wellness from its totality, right? And we're going to invite you to really begin to really begin to take care of yourself. And Linda, you want to put, there you go, fit 5. You want to put fit 5. You got fit percentage, just so you know, hon. So we're gonna test it, and then we're gonna invite you on this total complimentary journey. And what my commitment is that we begin to look at our well-being, our wellness in its totality. So we're gonna look at your health, and we're gonna educate you on how you keep your body healthy and how you consume all those organic whole foods. We're gonna talk about sleep. We're gonna talk about hydration. Then we're going to talk about fitness, and we're going to actually invite you to work out with me in the morning with the 6 a.m. club, if that's something you want to do, or we're going to invite you to do something that covers those different areas. And then we're going to talk about wellness. So to put Fit 5 in the comments section if you want to be a part of that. So let's talk about wellness. So wellness is very different from the other two, right? Because internal health, right, your health, fitness is kind of the things you do. Wellness is what happens between your two ears. It is how you think. It is how you manage stress. It is whether you have healthy or unhealthy coping mechanisms. It is all those things. It is really whether or not you take time for yourself. So when my doctor was telling me I wasn't well, what he was saying was, Suzanne, how you're managing your stress is not in your best interest. You're actually not managing it. The amount of hours you're working, you're not getting enough rest. You are emotionally challenged because there's so much going on in your life that your body actually isn't recovering, right? And it has this domino effect. So for me, it was really beginning to take care of my wellness. So as I began to do this, I thought, okay, I have to make this change. And so this is what I began to look at. We look at health as this thing that's doing, right? We're always doing. It's more to do. I look at health as the act of loving, respecting, and caring for myself. It is to love, respect, and care for myself enough that I'm willing to stop and actually stop what's going on in the world and take care of me. That's what health, fitness, and wellness is. And to take care of me in those 3 areas. And they don't have to take a long time, but it really is a daily commitment. Now, health, fitness, and wellness isn't something you do once a week. It is actually something you do every single day. Right? So it is really just participating in this very clear way around how do I manage and care for my health, fitness, and wellness. So for me, it began this whole process of filling my cup up first and giving from what I call my overflow. Filling my cup and giving from my overflow. Now, as I began to do this, and as I began to do it on a daily basis, and I'll tell you a little bit about how that looks, what I began to realize was my energy came back with abundance. My mental state became more positive. I began to see my world from a cup full versus a cup half empty. But one of the biggest things for me was that as I began to take care of my health, my fitness, and my wellness, I was also teaching the world how to interact and treat me. I want you to get this. I was teaching the world how to interact and treat me. Now, it's pretty simple. I want you to think, here's Suzanne, busy, doing, giving. And under the surface, angry and resentful because no one's contributing to me, not realizing that how I was showing up in the world was actually teaching the world how to treat me. And how I was showing up is I don't need anything. There's no time to give for me. I got it all handled. And I took a lot of pride in being able to juggle all the balls, do all the things, and do it to such an extent that people were reluctant to contribute to me. I really want you guys to get this. So as I went on this journey to my own wellness, one of my biggest learns was one was to stop and care for Suzanne, but two was to ask for help so I could create the space to care for Suzanne. Right? So, and a lot of us don't do it because we believe that there's so many things to do. I will say to you, there's many things to do. They all don't have to be done by you. So what I began to do was I began to engage people. So I engaged my in-laws and they started transporting my boys to all their soccer practices and I would show up for the games. I got a housekeeper. I started doing things so that I could clear this very precious space so that I could take care of my own wellness. Now, the beautiful thing that also began to happen was when I chose to actually contribute, I wasn't contributing from a place that it was who I was and it was defining me. I was contributing from a place of love, contributing from a place of abundance, contributing from a place of I want to give, and I actually didn't need anything in return because I was full. Is this making sense for you? If it is making sense, add a comment. I see, yes, I'm learning how to fill my cup up first and give for my overflow. That's Taria. Linda's Linda saying love, respect, and care for myself is wellness. This is good. Thank you, hon. Right? Is my screen freezing? Is it getting any better? Please let me know. And so that's what I began to do. Now, one of the things I will say to you as we go on this journey is this journey is really an intention, right? And oftentimes as busy men and women, as busy entrepreneurs, one of the things that we say is we don't have time. Well, this is about being intentional about your self-care, being intentional about your fitness, being intentional about your wellness, being intentional about your health. So this is really kind of how it began to unfold for me. One was, and we're going into 2020, so at the beginning of every year, I make sure I make appointments with my health team. I want you guys to get this. I make appointments with my health team. And so I make my doctor's appointment, I make my dentist appointments, I make my chiro appointments, I make my massage appointments. I make appointments and I make sure that all my things related to my health are taken care of. So I make those appointments and I schedule them in my phone, in my agenda, so that I don't lose track of taking care of me. So that's one of the first things I do. Remember I said this is all about a plan. And notice I have a chiro and a massage. Now, some people will say that a massage is a luxury. It is, but a massage is really a big part of my wellness. So I go for a massage 1 to 2 times a month. I go for a facial 3 to 4 times a year. And I do things that really pour into my wellness. And it's, again, me making time to stop and put my self-care first, right? So that was the first thing I do. I do it at the very beginning of the year. The second thing I do is I schedule time off, right? So I schedule my vacations at the beginning of the year. I schedule my vacations where they're vacations where I'm on a plane and I'm on a beach and I'm gone for a week to 10 days. And then I schedule weekly Friday nights, my night off. I don't work on Sundays. And then I have times where I get together with my girlfriends and we do these weekends and different things. So I schedule time where I'm making sure I take time for myself by myself, and then I make time to spend time with people. This is all our wellness. But again, it's not when am I going to do it? I have it scheduled out. Right? So this is some of the things that I'm looking at. The other thing I began to do was I began to get up a little early, and the first 90 minutes to 2 hours of the day belongs to Suzanne. It really is that simple. And I do it 7 days a week. The first 90 minutes to 2 hours of the day belongs to me. And this is my philosophy. If I can pour into me first thing in the morning, I'm now full, so I can pour in and bless the world in throughout the rest of the day. So this is kind of how I do it. So what I want you to say to you is, are you scheduling time for yourself? So I wake up at about 5:30 And from 5:30 till about 8:30 is Suzanne's time, right? And I work out for 30 minutes. I meditate for 20 minutes. I read for 30 minutes. I journal for 30 minutes. And then I go eat, shower, and now I'm ready to serve. I'm ready to go into my day. But I go into my day full. On the weekends, I read for like an hour and a half. And I pour into myself. Now, this is all my routine around self-care. And my workouts are not one area. My workouts, I do yoga and stretch every Wednesday. And the rest of the week, it ranges between cardio, strength training, flexibility, all the different things. So I hit all the different areas. Now, what I'm saying to you is notice I only work out 20 to 30 minutes, but I do it five to 6 days a week. Usually on the Saturday or Sunday, it's usually something outdoors. I go walking, I go hiking, I do something fun. But incorporated into my day is me every single day. And I make sure I touch my health, my fitness, and my wellness. Now, I'm just going to see Julie says, just got health insurance so I can plan for a full workup. Good job, girl. And I know you're self-employed, so that is amazing. It's good to know where you are, so you know how to supplement and support your body. Absolutely. Colette says, first 90 minutes to 2 hours belong to us. Care for ourselves. That is the trick, right? Taria is saying yes. Scheduling time off has been a huge step for me this year. Yeah, good job, Taria. So this is kind of how you do it. Now, most people will say that they don't have time, and I'm going to be pretty candid, and I'll tell you why most people think they don't have time, particularly we women. Most of us don't want to rock the boat, right? And our families and people have been so conditioned for us to be serving them that we are actually oftentimes women are afraid to stop and say, you know what, I'm going to pour into me. But this is what I'm going to suggest, that if you don't pour into you and you are not caring for your health, fitness, or wellness, you may have a situation where your doctor is saying to you, honey, you're healthy, but you're not well. Or he might say, you're not healthy, you're not fit, nor are you well. And consider that if you go down, there's so many things that are going to stop. So it's time to take your health, your fitness, your wellness off the back burner and consider the foundation to which everything lives on. Your business sits on that foundation of health, fitness, and wellness. Your ability to participate in your recreation and do the things you want to do sits on your health and wellness. Your ability to be with family and friends sits on your health and wellness. And think of the day where you caught a flu or just something went wrong and how it took you out of your business, took you out of relationships, took you out of so many different things. Imagine what if it was not just one day, but an extended period of time. You and I are so worth the self-care and the self-contribution. And I'm trusting that as you're listening, that you realize that health is a way of being. It is your love for yourself. It is to respect yourself enough to say, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put me first. I'm going to pour into me, and then I'm going to serve the world. Health is not just cosmetic in terms of how you look and what size you are. Health is so multifaceted. And this is the last thing I'm going to say is that we're all men. I'm looking and almost everybody on the live today is self-employed. Consider that your brand, call your health, fitness, or wellness, you, right? So I am health, right? I am fit. I am my wellness. Your brand shows up and speaks to the world before you ever open your mouth, before you ever tell them what your company is, before they ever see your business card, before they ever see your logo. That brand speaks to the world. And it says to the world, either I'm energetic and full of life, or I'm tired and beat up. It says, trust me. It says, respect me. It says, I'm solid. It says, I'm grounded. It says, I'm powerful. Whatever you are, however you're walking through the world, your health, fitness, and wellness speaks. And I can't tell you how many places I got access to, not because of my title, but because of how I showed up, the energy I showed up, the way I move and walk through the world. But that is a result of my self-care. That is a result of me respecting me. That is a result of my self-love, right? You are a brand, and it's called a brand called you. And you are the cornerstone, the foundation of your business. So part of my ask is that you consider, am I respecting, serving, caring for, and loving this brand? Because it is speaking loudly, right? And the last thing I say is how you feel about who you are in the world will impact every sale, every ask you make, every business meeting, every interaction. It'll impact it all. So the first work that we're each required to do is to love and care and respect self. So let me see what Taria's saying, yes, I am a brand. Linda's saying, I'm able to watch. Oh, there's a delay. Sorry about that, hun. An excellent session. Thank you, Miss Pauline. Brenda, I have trouble sleeping at night. Well, from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. Suggestions. Okay, so I'm told that when you are waking up at 3 a.m., that it's often cortisol, and that's a stress response in your body. So Brenda, when we talk, I know we're talking tomorrow, ask me that question and I'll give you some suggestions and solutions that I use myself. And I love that you're asking these questions, because this is the thing. We are not conditioned as a group to listen to our bodies, right? But our bodies talk to us all the time. Our bodies tell us exactly what's going on. However, we are not listening. So if you're waking up between 3 and 5, that's a stress response. So that means it's about managing your stressors. If you can't go to sleep, that's another response. It's about managing that. If you have discomfort in your body, it's about managing that. If you eat something and it doesn't agree with you, it's your body saying, we should not possibly be eating that. So we are taught to mask all these things. Take sleeping pills, take this, take that. And what I'm saying to you is that your body is the best indicator, and pain and discomfort is the way our bodies tell us that something's off. And when something's off, it's not about slapping a Band-Aid on it. It's about taking the time to find out what the source is. And, once you get in the pattern of listening to your body and finding out the source, and I know Julie's been listening, and Julie is brilliant in this area. My girl knows so much about nutrition. When it talks about, just listening to and finding the source, you're not only making a part-time shift, you can make a permanent shift. And I started this call by saying that we get a new full body. The cells in our body replace itself every 7 years. So if you start today and you start to care for self, care for your fitness, care for your health, put the right things in your body, and care for your wellness, you may show up looking younger, more vital, more energized in the next few years. Because we believe that aging is that we decline. No, aging occurs in the manner to which we can decide. And it really is about how intentional are we around our health. So this is my ask for everybody. So if if this conversation resonates with you and you want to take your fit test, you want to go on the accountability journey with me for the next 30 days, it consists of registering, doing a few quizzes, doing an interview with me, and then we'll get you started. It's totally complimentary. I have a team of people that are ready to hold you accountable, pour into you, and walk with you. So definitely let us know. And the way to do that is to type FIT5, FIT, and the number 5 in the comment section. So everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. Sharia, thank you for your support today and attempting to jump on. We will schedule another time because, I like to hang out with my girl, and you will definitely join me in the future. I just got to get you scheduled, honey. Everyone, it's Suzanne Hart. This was another Mindset Mastery session. This is our fitness series, which is health, fitness, and wellness. If you want to continue this discussion with us, definitely Fit5, F-I-T, the number 5 in the comments section, and we will definitely reach out to you and get you registered for the Fit5 challenge and the accountability process. It's Work Your Fit, Find Your Fabulous accountability experience with me. I'm looking forward to walking with you. Everyone, have a blessed evening, and I will talk to you next week. Take care.